Hi, I'm Pierre-Marc de Champlain. I'm Director of Product Management at Berger, and in the video today I will talk to you about how you can increase the volume of your growing media by properly hydrating it before potting. Now, there are many reasons why peat moss is one of the main ingredients used for growing media, but today we're going to focus on its ability to absorb and retain water. So when you purchase your bales of peat-based growing media and you open them up, often you would find that they appear really dry. And there is a reason behind that. Peat moss needs to be really dry in the fields to be harvested and stored efficiently. Now at Berger, we try to keep that moisture content as low as possible throughout the production process. And the reason behind that is that we want to maximize the volume of growing media that we put on a truckload, because we're selling mix, we're not selling water. So the only caveat to that is that you will need to hydrate the growing media yourself before you put it into a container. Now there are several advantages to doing that. One of the main ones is that it will optimize the structure of the soil, and it will kind of settle it in, lock it into within the container. But the other major advantage is the significant gain in volume that you will get through the expansion of the peat moss. Now, peat moss is elastic and has the ability to be compressed and decompressed. Now, once it's compressed in bales for long periods of times, when you open the bales, it takes some time for that peat moss to re-expand. However, if you add water, that really accelerates the process, and at the same time you will get a significant gain in volume. That gain will be between 10 and 15% depending on the composition of the mix, but also the initial moisture content of your growing media. So we've actually set up a small demo here. We've got BM4 NF Wood HP, which is a 75% peat moss and 25% wood fiber. Typically comes in or out of the bales at 43 to 46% moisture content. And so we're going to take the growing media here and we're going to fill this container, and we're actually going to overfill it a little bit. And then we're going to use the ruler I have over here, and we're going to remove the excess growing media to level it out at the rim. Going to remove this excess growing media right here, move it to the left here, and then we're going to go back to this container with the dry soil, and what we're going to do is we're going to dump it on the table here, and we're going to add some water. Now, to hydrate the growing media to the right level, you have to bring it up to approximately 65% moisture content. But it's not an exact value. You've got a little bit of wiggle room there, but I would recommend that you gradually add the water because you don't want to go too far. Mixing in the water, making sure that it's nice and uniform. And then we're going to take the container that we used and we're going to refill it. And once again, you'll quickly notice that I can overfill it, and that's thanks to that gain in volume. So then we can flatten it out to the rim, and you can see here all the excess soil that we have thanks to that hydration. Now the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to reuse the same growing media, and I'm going to add too much water. And we're going to exaggerate this a little bit. So as you can see, if I use the squeeze test, you'll see that I've got way too much water in there. There's a lot of excess water coming out. But the effect that it has is that additional weight is actually going to press down on the growing media so that when I refill the container here, you see that the gain in volume that I've had is practically all lost. There's still a little bit of gain, but not much. Not all soil manufacturers will go through the extra effort of keeping the growing media as dry as possible for packaging. Some will actually sell the growing media already at optimal moisture content. So you have to be careful in those instances not to add too much water. Thank you for watching. For more information, check out our other videos.